What's up, everybody? I'm Flash. This is One Man's Opinion, the show where we cover just about everything, and welcome to your first ever Dragon Ball Super Tournament of Power Award show. Today we are here to crown the MVP, but we're also going to be looking at a few other awards that a few other people might have got. You got Offensive Player, you got the Best Teammate Award, stuff like that. We're going to be getting into it. There's a lot of really interesting statistics. Just so you guys know, I have like 20 pages worth of notes that are like filled to the brim where I kept track of every elimination, every assisted elimination, what place everyone got eliminated, how they did it, like note after note. I took detailed notes on this thing because I wanted to give you guys the most accurate information I had. Also, I've looked at a couple of other places where these things are categorized, and I don't know if they pulled stuff from the manga that may be different than what happened in the anime or what happened, but I rewatched every elimination in this tournament at least 3 times a piece just to be sure I got this right. I would be surprised. I'm not saying that there's not a mistake here, but I combed over this in detail. So if you have questions, put them in the comments. If I have enough questions on it, I may do a follow-up video if there's something in particular people have like a protest about. But I took pretty good notes here, and I'm feeling pretty confident in the scores that I came up with. So first of all, I need to explain to you the rules. How do you score points? So basically, I made a point system that every single character could score at least 1 point if they met certain prerequisites. So you can get a point if you eliminate a player. That's if player A punches player B and they go out of the ring. They are scored with the elimination. I don't care if Goku beats the crap out of Frost, and I'm just pulling a random example. Goku beats up Frost for 20 minutes on screen, hits him up in the air, and then Vegeta comes out of nowhere and kicks the dude out. Vegeta gets credit with the elimination. Goku gets a half point in that circumstance for an assist. That's another way you can score points in this tournament. According to the rules that I put together. 1 point for eliminations, half a point for an assist. Another way you can score points is simply by surviving. Some people had the strategy to go through this and not be an offensive player, but more of a defensive player, and they just wanted to survive. So for every 10 people you out-survive, you get a point. For example, I think you pronounce her name Ralibu. I don't know, but she's the first person eliminated in the tournament. She received 0 points. No one received a point for survival until they survived to the 70th place. There are 80 people in total. When you make it to that 70th place, you start to make points. If you're eliminated at the 70th position, okay? And that means that there are 69 people left in. Then you pick up another point if you survive to the 60th place. That means there are 60 people left in. If you're eliminated in the 60th position, there are 59 people remaining. Every 10 that you survive, you get another point. And I wrote the names down as they went, everyone who got eliminated, so you can pick up points that way. That means if you survive to the top 10, you are capable of picking up 7 points. So those are basically free points just for surviving. Just for making it to the end, you pick up 7 points, which is more than the majority of the field ended up scoring anyway. So obviously surviving is a great way to score points. It's a great way to help your team, and that's kind of the way I looked at this. Are you helping your team? If you're helping your team doing something, you score a point. Now there are other ways to score a point. One is the team save. If you have a teammate, if Goku is flying out of the ring and Android 18 catches him and throws him back in, Goku is safe and Android 18 gets a point for saving her team. Now, self-sacrifice is something different. That's if Goku is flying out of the ring and Krillin jumps out there and grabs Goku and throws him back in the ring, but isn't able to propel himself back into the ring also. He saved Goku, but at the cost of his own life. In my mind, I thought, well, that's a more noble sacrifice, so that should be a full point, and teammate save should be a half point. But the more I thought about it, you're actually helping your team more if you save the teammate and don't go out yourself than you are if you save your teammate but you go out. So the way I ended up scoring that, and I'm having to go through this quickly because I don't want you to be here all day just for how the points were scored. How I ended up scoring that was if you save a teammate and you remain inside, you score a full point. If you save a teammate but cannot save yourself in the process, you only score a half a point for that. Those are the only ways that I came up with to score points in this tournament. There are 2 ways you can score a negative point. One, if you were the reason that your teammate got eliminated. So for example, if Goku shot a Kamehameha at Jiren, and Jiren dodged it, and Goku hit Vegeta, and Vegeta's flying up in the air now because he got hit by one of his own teammates' attacks, and then Toph come out of nowhere and kick Vegeta, and Vegeta went out. If that were to happen, Goku would get negative half a point there for a negative assist on his own teammate. Also, if you are saved multiple times from elimination, 2 times from elimination, you can receive negative half a point because at some point you become a detriment to your team. They're expending energy and time that they could be conserving trying to constantly save you. So for every 2 times you're saved from elimination, not just in the ring and you're getting beat up because it's not definitive that you would have lost that fight. People come back in fights all the time. Only if you were for sure headed out of the ring and your teammate had to drop what they were doing and go and save you, twice do you receive a half a point, and then of course if you were to be saved 4 times you would receive another half point. Those are negative points. Your teammate would still get their full point for saving your life, but you would receive a negative half point for every one of the for every 2 times that you were saved. And that's the whole scoring system. That's how I made this tournament, and I think I did a pretty good job. I think I got all the details hammered out. So without any further ado, let's get to the awards. And the first award of the night, we have the Most Improved Award. Who came out there from previous times being on screen, and we didn't think maybe that they would do much, or even if we thought they would do much, they outperformed our expectations by a crazy amount. And the award goes to, drumroll please, Master Roshi. Master Roshi, come on down. You received the Most Improved Award trophy for your performance. Master Roshi actually killed it. He scored in the top 10 overall of points scored. Yeah, no, he came in 9th place overall points scored, which is saying something considering he was eliminated just past the halfway mark. And so it wasn't like he was just picking up a lot of cheap points from survival like so many others. Master Roshi actually eliminated 4 people on his own, not to mention picking up 2 assists, and he saved Vegeta from sure elimination when Frost had him held in the evil containment wave. Now, it could be argued that the only reason Vegeta ended up there was because of Roshi in the first place, but that is actually irrelevant. Had Vegeta been eliminated, absolutely, Roshi would have gotten a negative point. But ultimately, Roshi didn't eliminate his teammate. He actually saved his teammate from that elimination, so Roshi still gets the team save in that moment. He was eliminated at the 34th position, meaning that there were 33 people left in the match, and honestly, the dude he crazy outperformed a lot of people. Like I said, coming in 9th in total points, which is astounding for someone eliminated at the 34th position. And I'm pretty sure he's the only person, actually I'm 100% sure, he's the only person eliminated that early who also made it to the top 10. So that was a really impressive performance by Master Roshi. Give it up for Master Roshi. Our second award of the night goes to the Most Underrated Player. Who's the guy or gal who did so much for their team, but at the end didn't make it to really that very final battle and didn't really get as much shine as I felt like they deserved in this one? And the answer to that question is Gohan. Gohan made the top 5 in total points. He was eliminated at 7th, which means he survived. He was also the captain of his respective universe, putting himself in a leadership position and leading his team ultimately to victory. He was tied 5th for most eliminations, tied with Jiren actually for the amount of people that he eliminated, so no small feat there. Also tied for 3rd in assists. So this man was across the board in the top 5 everywhere you looked, according to the stats. He had a self-sacrifice. He saved Piccolo's life during the tournament. He was highly intelligent throughout, coming up with great game plans. Like I said, being that team captain, that team leader. Across the board, he was a positive influence for his team with no negative marks against him, which is more than you can say for the rest of the top of his team. They all picked up a negative mark somewhere against them, but Gohan did not. He was nothing but a positive influence for his team. Scored great across the board, top 5 in everything. So Most Underrated Player of the Night goes to Gohan. Now we have the No I in Team Award. Who was that teammate that really just went above and beyond for their team. Who was the person that put it all on the line to save their team's lives, to keep their team in the game? This one was a shocker to me. Drum roll, please. Round of applause for Frieza, our winner of the No I in Team award. Frieza was the only person with 2 teammate saves, 1 self-sacrifice, and an assist to get across the board all of the things that you could do to like save your teammate. Now, there were people with 2 teammate saves. There were people with a self-sacrifice. There were people who picked up assists, but no one picked up 2 teammate saves plus a self-sacrifice and an assist. No one had all of those things combined, which means Frieza was really going above and beyond to save his teammates, or help out his teammates, which is crazy because Frieza was supposed to be the big question mark of the team, the one that no one could trust. And yet, the team relied on him perhaps more than anybody when crunch time came. When it came time to save your teammates from certain defeat, Frieza answered that bell more times than anybody in the entire tournament, which I thought was astounding. I really thought that was amazing. All right, now we are getting to the ultimate awards here, the big 3 awards. We have the Offensive Player Award, the Most Valuable Teammate Award, and the MVP Award. First up, we do the Offensive Player Award. This one was easy. Who had the most eliminations? And that person was Goku with 10 eliminations. No one else had double-digit eliminations except for Goku, coming in with 10 eliminations. This man was an offensive juggernaut. He also tied for 3rd in assists, which means when he wasn't eliminating the opposition, he was helping someone else eliminate the opposition. He tied with Gohan for 3rd in assists. Only Vegeta and Android 17 out-assisted Goku in this tournament. It is astounding how much he was able to do. Goku, he was just an offensive juggernaut. Despite being targeted out the gate, still managed to put up huge numbers for his team. And that's why we love it. I mean, that's why it was an easy slam dunk answer. Goku gets Offensive Player Award. Now the Most Valuable Teammate Award. Now how this separates from the No I in Team, these 2 people, the No I in Team winner Frieza and this individual who wins this award, both laid down their lives for their teammates multiple times, and I felt like there needed to be 2 awards that represented that. And so the way I looked at it is, No I in Teammate Award goes to the teammate who had the most team saves and self-sacrifices. But the truth is, Frieza only had 1 assist. And so I needed to recognize someone who really went out of their way to assist their team, who also went out of their way to grab those all-important team saves, and that person was Android 17. 17 came in number 1 in assists with a total of 6 assists, which is astounding. He is one of only 3 players to save 2 teammates from certain elimination. One of those we recognized previously in Frieza. The only difference between 17 and Frieza is that 17 didn't have a self-sacrifice because, well, he won the tournament. He was never eliminated at all. Whereas when Frieza went out sacrificing himself for the greater good of the tournament by helping to eliminate Jiren. 17 never had that self-sacrifice, and that distinction is why Frieza gets the No I in Teammate Award, but 17 gets the Most Valuable Teammate Award because of all those assists and because his willingness to still save teammates with 2 teammate saves on top of all of those assists that he racked up. He also had 4 eliminations, which doesn't put him in the top 5 of eliminations, but it does stand him out as someone who is doing a little bit of everything. He was assisting more often than he was eliminating, but he was getting those eliminations too, being a good teammate all the way around. His limitless energy and his energy shield technique saved countless people. He was helping people left and right. The fact that he could continually hold people down with his limitless energy and creating those bubble shields really helped out a lot of his teammates in points that I couldn't really score. He didn't really save them from sure elimination, but he certainly saved a lot of teammates from taking a lot more damage than they would have otherwise. At the end of the day, 17 laid down his life multiple times for his teammates and ended up winning the entire tournament and being the last man standing. And for that reason, I felt he had to get the Most Valuable Teammate award. Now we are to the moment we've all been waiting for. Who is the most valuable player of them all? And if you've been doing your math, if you've been thinking about it in your head, who's the one man who hasn't received an award yet that you thought, man, it's going to be crazy if we get out of here and this guy doesn't get an award at all? Well, you're absolutely right. The Most Valuable Player award goes to Vegeta. Now look, okay, round of applause. Yeah, let the crowd, I hear you. Now look, some of you are saying, look, I don't know about it. Goku did a whole lot in this tournament. Android 17 did a whole lot in this tournament. I hear you. But there's a reason I gave this to Vegeta, mainly over Goku, who was his stiffest competition. By all metrics, in total points, Goku finished with 19.5. Vegeta actually finished with 18.5 total points by my scoring sheet, by my breakdown here. And so you say, well, one man's opinion. How can you say that Vegeta is the most valuable player, even though Goku outscored him by an entire point? And don't be mistaken. A whole point in this method of scoring that I laid out here is substantial. A point is hard to get. That's a whole extra 10 people you've outsurvived. That's a whole nother person you've eliminated. That's a whole other 2 assists that you picked up. And what it really came down to was a couple of eye test things. Now, number one, let's get to the statistics. Goku had his 10 eliminations, that's for sure. No one touched him on that. But in second place, we had Vegeta with 9 eliminations. So only 1 away from Goku. And let's look at another stat. In second place for eliminations was Vegeta. In second place for assists also was Vegeta. Vegeta had 4 assists. He was the only person even remotely close to Android 17. Android 17 doubled everyone else's outputs with assists, with Goku and Gohan tying for third at 3 assists. So Vegeta able to take second in eliminations and second in assists. Vegeta also had a self-sacrifice death where he gave his own last bit of energy to Goku to keep the battle going. But the fact of the matter is, Goku's not winning that fight. He's not standing up and having enough energy to fight that fight without Vegeta's assistance. Vegeta also bought Goku all kind of time fighting Jiren to the bitter end right there and showing more heart than anybody else in the tournament. In my opinion, he had the most heart out of anybody out there. And that's another reason just to give him this MVP award. He also was credited with half a point for saving a teammate. Now, it is true that Vegeta didn't save a teammate in this fight. However, he did save Kaba, who was not his teammate. So I felt he deserved at least a half a point. Kaba went on to get other eliminations, and those are people that Vegeta wouldn't have to deal with. His universe would not have to deal with. Had Kaba come back and been a problem for Vegeta's universe, I would not have given him the half point. But ultimately, saving Kaba led to more eliminations of other universes that Vegeta, Goku, and the others would not have to deal with when it came down to crunch time. And so in the long run, it did actually help his team by saving Kaba. And so if you want to look at it as half a point for a team save by getting Kaba, or just give Vegeta half a point for an assist by helping Kaba to get up and get another elimination before he was eliminated, you can look at it however you want. Either way, Vegeta picks up a half point in another unusual way that most people, other people on this list weren't able to get points those ways. Vegeta also wasn't in the spotlight near as much as Goku. Well, you could use that and say, well, Goku ought to use the MVP. He was headhunted from the very beginning, still managed to survive and out-survive Vegeta. Certainly, there's merit to that argument, but I would also argue that Goku benefited from all that aggression more than he did not benefit. And what do I mean by that? We all know that Saiyans get more powerful the more that they fight. And certainly the more that they are driven to the brink of death and are able to come back from that. Goku's powers from the beginning of the tournament to the end increased astronomically by unlocking Ultra Instinct. He would not have survived near as long without Ultra Instinct, and he wouldn't have gotten Ultra Instinct had he not been headhunted the entire time. Vegeta fought much less and still did more with his time. Still picking up 9 eliminations to Goku's 10. Still picking up 4 assists to Goku's 3 in much less time, with much less fighting, by conserving his energy, and still managed to unlock his own potential by getting that first glimpse at Ultra Ego with that ascended Super Saiyan Blue that we got to see. Long story short, I felt Vegeta was a more efficient fighter in this fight. Goku also had to get saved from eliminations more often than Vegeta did, meaning that in some ways, because Goku was a target, he was a little bit, at times, a burden on his team. The fact of the matter is, his team could have sat in the background much more and avoided fighting much more, and probably would have won the tournament due to time limit had Goku not been such a target and required saving from 17 and 18 and Frieza and everyone else so many countless times. His teammates were constantly drug into the fight because everyone else saw him as an enemy. And you can say, well, that wasn't really Goku's fault. It was a misunderstanding, and I get all that. All that stuff is completely valid. It was a misunderstanding. But the truth of the matter is, it doesn't matter why you're the target. When a basketball team steps out on the court and your best scorer is double teamed the whole game because that they are the best scorer on your team, you can't say, well, we would have won the game if, they hadn't double teamed our best scorer. Yeah, you probably would have. But they did double team your best scorer. And so you needed somebody else to fill that role. And Vegeta filled that role better than anyone and did it more efficiently than anyone. He performed as well as, by most metrics, if not better than, Goku in most metrics in almost every single thing in the tournament. He was right there neck and neck with him and did it much more efficiently, in my opinion. And that's why Vegeta is your tournament of power MVP. Woo! Well, I hope you enjoyed this, and I know that there's going to be a lot of conversation down in the comments. Did I get it right? What did you think about it? I want to hear it all down in the comments. I'll do my best to respond. If you make like a really good point in your comment and I don't respond, it may be that I'm considering doing a follow-up video. So I don't want you guys to be discouraged in the comments if you don't hear from me. I want the discussion, and I'm going to discuss with some of you in the comments, but if it looks like one particular thing, if you guys wanted follow-up videos on this, look, like I said, I've got like 20 pages, probably more than 20 pages worth of notes here. I could go into detail about anybody, Tien, Krillin, Piccolo, anything you wanted to know about them or how I ended up with certain eliminations, certain points. I have all that stuff wrote down, like the details of every elimination. So just fire the questions at me. I'll do a follow-up video where I get more detailed and talk about in more detail why I scored certain things, certain events, certain ways. Anyway, thank you all so much for your time. Hopefully this wasn't too long. I enjoyed it so much. I've been working on this video for a while, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments below what you thought. And let me know if you guys want more anime stuff. I've been watching Bleach here lately, so I could talk about Bleach all day. Of course, I can always talk about Dragon Ball Z. I'm a fan of a lot of different animes. But anyway, let me know in the comments below what you want to hear next time. I've kept you long enough. I appreciate it, guys. Thanks.